Alright, what's up guys? I'm back with another video about, an interesting theory that some of you guys wanted, or my approach to this topic. And pretty much the topic at hand today is climate change. A lot of people used to know it as global warming, but they had to kind of change the term because it wasn't just global warming. Climate change has to do with a whole bunch of different weather aspects, and it's not just the increase of heat. But we have seen, or scientists have seen, different changes besides just in the increase in temperature. But pretty much it is a big thing, and a lot of people don't really know if it's true or not, but it is. NASA's been doing a whole bunch of research on this, and different types of research groups that are really big out there, known for weather or just science overall. And so I got a little article next to me here on NASA's website about global climate change, and pretty much it is a lot more serious than people think. Obviously temperatures have increased over time, and then they say that it's only going to increase even more as time goes. And then can we turn this around? Maybe, yes. It takes a lot more than just one person or even one country. Surely, to fix this type of problem, it's gonna take pretty much the whole world to fix what we created. And but as far as potential future effects, according to NASA's website right here, it says that climate change includes more frequent wildfires, longer periods of drought in some regions, and an increase in the number, duration, and intensity of tropical storms. So basically, it is, or it could affect us a lot more than people realize in the future. Wildfires are obviously a big thing, and then this just messes up the economy in different ways, and asks a lot from our firefighters, right? So it's kind of a bad thing, but obviously wildfires are bad, but there's always a bright side to that too. After Earth is scorched, then usually the land's more fertile after. But that's just looking at it from a positive viewpoint. And then it also said more tropical storms, so this obviously could cause more damage in tropical areas. So you'll see more hurricanes, and then just stuff like that. And then it also said droughts, right? And that has to do with the increase in temperature. And then besides droughts with the increase in temperature, there's obviously or the ice caps in both parts, or both opposite parts of the world, have been melting. And I forgot which one it was specifically, but I think it was Antarctica. But or overall, just glaciers have been shrinking, and then people, or most scientists, are concerned with this because the reduction of the ice caps has increased the water in the ocean, or the area around there. And there has been some gradual increase in the rise of the ocean, but it's not necessarily a huge change. I think last time I checked, it only grows a few millimeters every year. But or I'm not sure if it was millimeters. I think it might be a little higher than that. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but over time we will see a difference. And then if the temperature continues to increase, then we can't really do much about this. And then if you're wondering why I'm kind of spitting out this information so easily, it's because I actually had to do a presentation about this for one of my AP classes last year. And I just find research kind of fun. It depends on what topic it is, obviously. And then that's another reason why I decided to make these YouTube videos. It's kind of put my opinion on stuff out there, and then what I've researched, and kind of share it with you guys. But yeah, that's kind of the overall basis of climate change. Is true. It could have some serious effects. And then I'm reading here right now saying, it also says that taken as a whole, the range of published evidence indicates that the net damage costs of climate change are likely to be significant and to increase over time. So that's kind of just summarizing what I just said too. And the same area too, that scientists have a high confidence that temperatures will continue to rise for decades to come. So that's many, many, many years. We're talking about increments of 10 years. So, and if they said many decades, then we can, I don't know, I'm guessing between like maybe 40 to 60 years, and then that's really when we're going to see a big difference, and we'll see. Only time could tell what happens then. But I don't know really what the average increase of temperature is, but it's looking right here. I'm reading, and it says for in the United States and other countries, there's been a temperature rise of 2.5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit or they're expecting that a 2.5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit over the next century. So 2.5 is not really a big deal. If it stays that low, then it's just a slight increase, and we will see some slight changes. But if they are expected to increase, or if they are expecting the temperature to rise degrees of 10, then that's kind of a big difference, and then that's when we can really see like all these increases in the effects, like I just mentioned. And then so climate change is real. It's a big thing, but we won't really be able to stop it unless we kind of all take this into consideration as a whole, and not just a few countries or like a few people. But obviously, like reducing your global footprint is essential, and every person counts. And then if you don't know what a global footprint is, and that's pretty much just like a calculation of how you live, and then based on that, it says how many worlds would you take to actually live the way you're living. So, for example, like let's say I take like long showers, I don't recycle, and then I just kind of mess up the world. Then pretty much what that's saying is that it's going to take about 3 Earths or whatever the calculation is. It's pretty much just saying that you're using up a lot more of Earth's resources than you truly need. So that's kind of why people are afraid how like the world's gonna end or whatever. Like we're gonna deplete Earth's resources or we're just pretty much gonna deplete Earth's resources before we even could replenish them in time. Because there's obviously a lot of natural renewable resources that we have, but maybe we're depleting them before they could even renew themselves, So, and that's pretty much all I have for that. And then if you want like a future video on this saying like what can be the true future effects, then let me know, and then I'll make sure to post one about that. Because I do have a few theories of what might happen, and then obviously a big one is like the movie 2012, like have you guys seen? Because that's basically explaining, or that movie pretty much just explained what climate change could do in the future, right? Because towards the beginning there was that one scientist who lived in the RV, and then he started noticing that Earth's Earth's core and the atmosphere or whatever, I forgot which one it was, but pretty much like that temperature increased so much that it started all these natural disasters. And I think that could be true, because pretty much if we think of this as like or if we think ourselves as a disease, right, and then the Earth as the host, then pretty much what the Earth is doing right now is increasing its temperature. It's pretty much getting what word I'm looking for? I don't know, honestly, I forgot. But its temperature's increasing. It's getting it's overheating. Kind of like when you're sick, you get the flu, and then your temperature's high or whatever. I forgot the term for it. I know there's a term for it, a medical term or whatever. Truly forgot. But anyways, so pretty much the Earth is just trying to like heal itself, or it's trying to like recuperate itself. It's the temperature's increasing in the atmosphere. Forecasts are getting what's called averages of higher temperatures, and then that's pretty much just the Earth saying that like I'm sick, basically. I'm trying to get better or whatever. I'm trying to recuperate, but if it's gonna increase gradually over time, and if it's never gonna come back down, then we could only expect the worst things to come, right? So, is it something to be worried about? Yes. And then, but is it gonna take just you? No, it's gonna take a lot more people than just yourself to truly solve this problem. And so that's pretty much my viewpoint on it. That's pretty much about it. I didn't really have nothing else in mind. I'm just kind of looking through this real quick, but But real quick again, just adding to like the future effects before maybe I make a future video about that. I don't really think that's gonna happen anytime near our lifetime. Maybe your great grandchildren might truly experience the effect of what might happen if we don't change that now. And then that's why a lot of like climate change supporters, or like, you know, the people who think that climate change should be stopped or we should be doing something about it, you know, like I forgot the term for that too, but there's like a political term for that, of those type of people. But pretty much what they're saying is that if we don't do something now, then we could expect something in the future like that could really damage us as a whole, you know, humanity or whatever. But yeah, that's my viewpoint on it. And then a quick update on, you know, what I'm doing. I still haven't really cleaned this area. I for sure need better lighting. Somebody recommended that, and haven't really cleaned this area either. But this little room that I have could get power. It's just it's not connected directly to the power yet. And then you see some stuff back here, but pretty much this is. I've just been doing like some simple archery in the backyard, you know. This is my bow. It was like $110 on Amazon. And I mean, it works pretty good. It's a 40-pound drawback compound bow, I believe. And then, so yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing for the past, you know, 3 weeks or whatever. And then, here's some of the arrows that I have, but they're kind of simple. It's whatever, you know. These are like the dullest tips that I have on it. And then the back is just some simple like rubber fletching, so that way they fly pretty good. But yeah, it's pretty simple, cheap. One of the cheapest bows that I found that like I think would have worked really good, and then they do actually. I have like a few videos and pictures on me kind of using it on Instagram. I'll make sure to, you know, put my @ in the description, you know, as everybody else does. And then as far as decoration, I mean, I did say in past videos that I was going to put like a few posters up or whatever, but the only one I really have is like the Star Wars one. And then it's kind of big, to be honest, and I don't know if I really want to put it in here, maybe in the back there somewhere, or yeah, because that's the only place that it's really going to fit. And then other than that, I just for sure need to clean this area. Oh yeah, and then there's already lights here, but I was thinking of maybe putting like LED lights around here, and you know, just kind of making like an actual little YouTube space or whatever, because this is supposed to be like my future room or whatever, like an office, since I share a room with my brother still. And then it's actually his birthday today, so shout out to him. That's why I'm kind of dressed up a little bit more than usual, and then with my new glasses. But and at first I didn't like these things. I thought they were a little too big, but I just think I don't know, I was just overcomplicating it. But anyways, yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know if you want any future topics or a future video on like the effects of climate change. And then yeah, that's about it.